Tom, thank you very much. Speaking of the cold, if you were planning on traveling to Houston tomorrow, or you have someone waiting to get home, you might want to check your flight. All flights to both Houston area airports, that's Hobby and Bush, have been suspended for January 21st. That begins at midnight tonight, and it is because of the weather in Houston and those very cold temperatures. And as many parts of Texas, including us, are getting ready for another freeze, that means it's time to check and make sure your pipes are protected. The simplest way to keep them from freezing is to let your faucets drip. People can also get outdoor faucet covers to help provide insulation against the extreme cold. When it comes to protecting your home, prep goes a long way. If your pipes do freeze or crack, be sure to call a professional for help. In addition to pipes, don't forget about your plants and, of course, your pets. For more information on the 3 Ps, go to our website, firstalert7.com. In anticipation of the cold weather, ERCOT is issuing another weather watch. These are issued when the power grid operator expects higher demand and the potential for lower energy reserves. That watch is in effect right now and will last through Thursday. ERCOT officials say they are monitoring conditions closely and will deploy all available tools to help manage the grid. Now, they're not saying there will be a power problem, but it is just a precautionary measure by ERCOT.
And that is prompting wind chill values to drop into the lower 20s across the area. So it's going to be bitterly cold this evening as actual temperatures drop down into the mid 20s overnight. I should say by 10 o'clock tonight, those wind chill values will be down into the teens.
Even here in Midland and Odessa, we saw some snow flurries this morning. They were perfectly formed snowflakes like Christmas decorations. And because temperatures were so cold this morning, they weren't melting. So many of us were able to snap pictures and then share them online. You might have shared some of yours as well. Now we have continuing coverage on the city of Odessa's water woes.
We have seen and heard your frustration, so we reached out to you. And dozens of you responded to Facebook posts with your own stories. We're now working on reading each and every one of them and then asking your questions to the city of Odessa, hopefully going to get some answers. Mark Miller has lived in Odessa for decades, and he says his normal bill has been around $65 to $75. But since moving from one house to another in Odessa back in July, he says he's run into multiple issues with the water usage on his home and what he owes in fees. He's gone down to talk to the city of Odessa about these problems numerous times, but that's only been made more complicated recently by the cyber attack that's crippling the city's billing system.
Well, it's aggravating for me because I had to make the trip down there. And one time I was on the phone, they said, well, you can come down here and talk to someone. And I said, okay, well, I'm retired. And I said, luckily I can. But I said, what about the working people? They can't make those trips. And I said, you know, it's also the gas expense and my time.
First Alert 7's Isabella Garriga spoke with more frustrated Odessans and Mayor Cal Hendrick. You can hear from them tonight on First Alert 7 News at 10.
We're tracking crime now out of Hobbs, New Mexico, where police say a serial burglar is behind bars. 34-year-old Roman Astorga of Hobbs was arrested for 14 counts of burglary. He's also charged with 13 counts of tampering with evidence. Astorga has a lengthy criminal record and was wanted by police. They found and arrested him 1 week ago, and he is still in jail today. That's according to the Lee County records.
The Ector County Democrats Party released a statement saying in part, quote, "It is our hope that Trump voters and Republicans get everything they voted for. As for we the people, we will not delay and advance and will protect, defend, and honor the Constitution of the United States of America to include the Equal Rights Amendment." End quote. As President Trump begins his second term, the road ahead is filled with both optimism and uncertainty.
State lawmakers are also reacting to the orders that Trump has signed already, many that concern the border and immigration policy. Senator John Cornyn says he is looking forward to the changes that come under President Trump, especially in regards to public safety at the border.
Texas has borne the brunt of the open border policies of the Biden administration. It's been an unmitigated disaster in terms of public safety and public health. We know the fentanyl that comes across the border is the leading cause of death for young people between the age of 18 and 45. Well, I think that's all going to change under President Trump.
Congressman August Pfluger also attended the inauguration and says he is looking forward to what the national state of emergency on energy brings to areas like the basin.
President Trump declaring this emergency means that he has more resources and more authority to now deal with what the Biden administration messed up so bad. And we can now quickly move to undo things like the LNG export ban, to undo the prohibition on certain sites that you could not drill in previously, or the establishment of refineries or export facilities. These are the things that he is pushing to do. Legislatively, we will back him up with that. We will continue to write the laws and push them over to 1600 Pennsylvania, where he'll sign them.
And Pfluger was there in the rotunda yesterday.
Yes, he was.
Among the executive orders signed, President Trump withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Agreement, moved to withdraw the country from the World Health Organization, and issued pardons for those involved in the January 6th riots. The school board of Midland is once again reassuring Midlanders that the new Midland High will be at 1600 East Wadley. That is the former Ranchland Hills golf course. This comes just a day before the school board's having a special meeting to discuss the, quote, purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. MISD bought the Ranchland Hills golf course back in 2019 and decided that it would be the best place to build a new high school. In 2023, voters approved a bond project that would see that new high school built there. MISD says the new Midland High School will be open in the fall of 2028. First Alert 7's Lauren Munt will be at that special board meeting tomorrow. You can follow her on Facebook or tune in to First Alert 7 News at 6 and 10 tomorrow for the very latest.
A man that was killed in a crash yesterday along the Garden City Highway. Here is viewer video of the aftermath of that crash. DPS troopers telling us that 26-year-old Christopher Vargas from San Angelo was killed. They say that Vargas's pickup truck crashed into the back of a trailer. He was pronounced dead at the scene. No other injuries were reported. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us here at 6.
We start tonight tracking crime. Michael McClintock is wanted for murder out of Bakersfield, California. But the Midland County Sheriff's Office and Texas DPS tracked him down to a location southeast of Midland. On Tuesday, the MCSO SWAT team responded to the 4200 block of South County Road 1140. That's where they arrested McClintock without incident. He's currently being held in the Midland County Jail, waiting to be sent back to California.
A student in Carlsbad, New Mexico, arrested for an outstanding warrant today at school. Police working with the high school staff to arrest the students, but when they did find the student, they found that student had a gun. Police didn't say what the warrant was for, but did say the student would be charged with possession of a firearm.
And this man, Aaron Abel Rodriguez, has been arrested on multiple charges. You may have seen a video on social media of Rodriguez wandering around a Midland Walmart. He was recorded screaming at people in the store and knocking out whole rows of shelves. He has been charged with public intoxication, criminal trespass, and 2 criminal mischief charges. Midland County Sheriff's Office says he has not posted bond.
We are your First Alert station. We want to keep you informed on some things happening at the Midland Independent School District.
Lauren Munt is at the First Alert desk with a recap of today's very well-attended school board meeting. Lauren, what's going on?
Something we've been seeing on social media a lot over the last few years, and now again in the last couple of days. A lot of public conversations surrounding the land that was formerly known as Ranchland Hills.
We are not going to do anything different than what the bond says to do.
So a lot happened, and there's a couple of things to take away from that. One, the board is standing by the bond, and Midland High will be built at 1600 East Wadley Avenue. 2, the lawyer who was hired by Keller and caused a lot of chaos will not even be considered by MISD as a lawyer. And lastly, based on social media posts and comments during today's meeting, it seems that the public is going to be keeping a close eye on some of these board members. And of course, issues that matter to the community matter to us. So we will be continuing to follow these stories. So be sure to stick with us on air, on our website, and of course, social media. For now, reporting at the Alert Desk, I'm Lauren Munt, First Alert 7 News.
Good evening to you, and thanks for joining us tonight at 10.
Topping our news tonight, we are tracking crime in Monahans, and it's a story we've been following for you all day. Monahans police say Angel Ochoa is behind bars after he shot a dog in the face with a BB gun. Monahans police were called about an animal abuse case yesterday evening and then were shown video of Ochoa shooting the dog. This morning, he was identified, arrested, and charged with cruelty to non-livestock animals.